Hey guys, welcome back to Brandon Does Barbecue. Today we're going to do one of my favorites, beef ribs. Beef short ribs, they got many names. Some places call them Texas ribs, some people call them DINO ribs, or you just call them big ass beef ribs. Alright, so if you're going to go to the grocery store and look for beef ribs, more than likely you're going to find beef back ribs. Beef back ribs are similar to like pork spare ribs, where you're just going to have a little bit of meat in between the bones. You're going to have to, more than likely you're going to have to go to your local butcher, and you're going to have to ask for beef short ribs. If you'll notice, beef short ribs, bones, and then just a ton of meat on top. That's what you want. You can do beef back ribs, they taste great, but yield wise you're not going to get that much, and it's really not worth it. Get beef short ribs. Alright, so these short ribs, they got a little bit of fat on them. You can leave them on there, but you don't want too much. I mean, fat is flavor, it's good stuff, but the hard stuff, don't want. It's not going to render, so let's get to trimming. When you're trimming these, you might be tempted to take off the membrane in the back. That's what most people do on like pork spare ribs. When you're doing short ribs, I like to leave them on. They're going to help the meat stay on the bone. If you pull it off, when you go to grab them, the meat's just going to fall off, and it's going to ruin that experience of gnawing on a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex bone. Alright, so I got these trimmed up as best as we're going to do. When you get your ribs, you might notice that sometimes you'll get these layers of fat that go in pretty deep into the meat. Don't worry about cutting all that out, because if you do, you're just going to hack into it. Just get pretty much most of the surface stuff off and you should be good to go. Alright, so let's talk seasoning. Pretty much most people, and I do this a lot too, do it like a brisket. Just get a binder on there. You can use mustard, you can use what I'm using today, hot sauce, and then seasoning wise, just kosher salt and some black pepper, half and half. But today we're going to use hardened seasoning. A buddy of mine gave me this. I've never heard of it. I looked it up. It looks like they're out of Alabama. They got a few other seasonings, but this one is pretty good for steak from what I'm told. It smells delicious, so I got high hopes that it's going to taste delicious on these beef ribs. I wouldn't waste my time on the back. You're not going to be eating the bones, so don't waste your time, don't waste your seasoning. Just focus on the top. So, binder for today, some Texas Pete hot sauce. It adds a little bit of flavor, not a whole ton. Like I said, you can use mustard or anything you want really. Just as long as it's helping the seasoning adhere, you'll be good to go. And you can go pretty heavy with whatever seasoning you're using. It's a big hunk of meat. It'll help create a pretty good bark, and that's what we like on good barbecue. Alright, so today we're going to be smoking these on the offset. The wood of choice today is hickory, and we got temperature going at about 250 degrees, so let's get it on. Alright guys, we're about 2 hours into the cook. We've been holding our temps pretty steady at 250 degrees, so we're going to give it a look. Give it a spritz of some apple cider vinegar, close it back up. Oh, I almost lost it. So as you can see, we're getting a nice bark forming. You can see a little bit of the meat draw back. So I think we're looking pretty good. Let's give it a little spritz, some apple cider vinegar. Alright, we'll keep rolling. Looks so good. Alright, so we're about 3 hours into the cook. So I got my trusty probe thermometer. We're gonna check it for tenderness, check the internal temperature, and try to get an idea of where we're at in the cook. I'd say it's looking pretty good. Alright, so find a spot that doesn't have any fat. Get in there, feel a little resistance. We want it to feel like you're probing butter. We're at 182. It's normally done right around 205, so our projector probably got another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours left in the cook. Alright, let's close it back up.
Came over hungry, and all we're doing is eating pepperoni.
Alright guys, so we're about 7 hours in the cook, so let's see where we're at. Ooh, those are looking beautiful. So we got a nice spark on here, good drawback. But basically, the most important thing you want to look for is very little resistance. You just slide in, as you can see, no problem. So, we're gonna call this done. Alright, I know I say it every time, in every single video, but just gotta reiterate it. You need to let it rest. So, these ribs have been resting for about 15-20 minutes. So now is the time to unveil the beautiful beef ribs. Now, you amateurs might be looking at this and, oh my god, these ribs are burnt. No, it's called a bark. It's what you get when you smoke meat. Trust me, you'll like it when you try it. Alright, so let's do, I like the look of this one better. Start with that. So make sure you cut right in between the bones. Ooh, like butter. There you go. Look at that beautiful smoke ring. That's what you want. All right, let's do the next one. Ooh, yes. Beautiful. Oh, well, missed spot. Oh man, yeah, that is absolutely perfect. Which one do I want to try? I say everybody votes for this one. So, the whole experience of beef ribs are actually eating it off of the bone. I mean, it's giant, it's huge. I mean, it's not like pork rib, so dig right in. It's like just eating brisket point. The moisture, like from the fat, it's just succulent, super tender. If you haven't done beef ribs, get out there, get beef short ribs, get to smoking.
I like to try it.
That's good. That's a good rib. Good job.
Subscribe. But Brandon does barbecue. And like, you should really cook this. It's fun. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give us a huge thumbs up. Click that subscribe button, turn notifications. See you guys later. Bye.
Alright, do you have a shark?
No, goldfish.